Hello and welcome to the seventh edition of ETCFO Leadership Summit. We're live from Mumbai, and today we have with us Mr. Rajeev Mantri, CFO Bandhan Bank. Welcome to the event, Mr. Mantri.
Thank you.
My first question: you've just walked out of a panel discussion. How has your experience been so far at the event?
I think the event was fabulous. I think the experience was very good. We had a really good panel discussion, very relevant topics. Amol had actually conducted it quite well, and I think we were able to talk about some of the pertinent points that are really relevant in today's industry, right? So I thought it was quite good, and a good set of questions from the audience as well.
Right. Over to my next question to you. The point is global volatility is no more temporary; it's sort of become perpetual. So, from the perspective of lending institutions, what should be the largest strategy for businesses?
I think the global situation is definitely becoming very uncertain, as we can clearly see. I think the geopolitical risks are playing out. For every lending institution such as ourselves, it is very important that we keep a very good pulse on what's really happening in the external market, right? And I think that becomes very important because the situation is changing very rapidly. So what's really unfolding? What exactly are the implications on the economy of the country? What exactly are the implications in terms of the various kinds of businesses that could happen? I mean, such as an example, the tariffs that came through, suddenly it impacted certain sectors of the economy in terms of the higher tariffs, right? And the exports from those sectors really became impacted. So therefore, keeping a pulse on what exactly are the developments so that we can realign our strategy in terms of the kind of businesses that we're doing, which sectors in corporate banking, for instance, that we need to actually, go faster or go slower. At the same time, which areas within retail that we actually need to foster. I think all of these become very dynamic ways of actually managing the situation. And the second thing is really our own balance sheet as well. Because if there are emerging stresses or emerging risks which come through as part of these, global developments, then we need to stay on top of it. We need to make sure that we are shoring up our capital, our liquidity enough, and also stay abreast of what kind of risks are emerging. So I guess it's a very dynamic world. We need to act very fast, and we need to be really stay on top of all these external developments.
All right, I'll sort of link it to the interest rate environment and speak of what do you think the interest rate cycle is going to look like going forward. It was very much predictable back in February when the rate pause took place. What do you think is going to happen going forward?
I think you're right. Last year, we definitely saw a lot of rate reductions that came through. We had close to about 125 basis points of repo rate reduction that came through over three cycles. Um, where we see the situation right now, I think the economy is in a very good position despite the geopolitical risks which are there. We see inflation has been largely under control over the last 3 to 4 months. Of course, the latest geopolitical escalation that's happened, especially in the Middle East region, we need to be wary of what exactly is the implication of inflation on inflation because of that. As of now, it's difficult to tell. But broadly, I think what we hear from the RBI that there is no real urgency as of now to be able to do further rate cuts. So I think this will be a bit of a stance which will need to be monitored for a period of time. We definitely need to see what exactly is emerging from the latest set of escalations and be able to see the impact of that effectively.
All right. Lastly, on the Union Budget 2026, Finance Minister, spoke about the high-level banking committee. What are you expecting from the committee? What should, what do you think the priority should be? And for the banking sector at large, what are you wishing at the moment?
No, I think it's a great institution or a committee which has been set up. I think it's a great announcement by the government which has been done. I think it is going to be positive for the industry as well. We need a high-powered body which is able to see the entire banking landscape across the country. There are clearly a number of things that we need to work on. We need to create larger global banks, and I think that is clearly the need of the hour. What exactly are the steps that can be taken in terms of being able to create more larger institutions? What can be done towards fostering a greater access of credit to all the various underserved sections of the society. I mean, for instance, Bandhan Bank's perspective, microfinance is one of the key areas. So financial inclusion continues to be one of the key priorities of the government. What exactly is being done further to be able to foster that and make it meaningful, right, in terms of the access? And thirdly, I think in terms of the priority sector which is there, what can be done to broad base the same? There are a lot of new emerging areas which are becoming very, very important, such as renewable energy, etc. Is there more thinking in terms of being able to broad base that? And I think that will really help in terms of making sure that the credit organization, lending organizations are able to actually see the path forward in terms of the growth for themselves as well as for the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mantri, for
Thank
sharing
you.
those insights.
Thank you so
Stay
much.
tuned for all the updates coming your way.